Hello, everyone. Andy here, and we're going to be doing just a recap of my Swiss tournament run, the Duelist Event Network, which I'll have linked down below for the wonderful casters, both Jack and Nabora, who casted yesterday. And this is just a quick run through of my Gauntlet run. Most of these weren't on stream. I believe this first one was. It's going to be versus Saucy Ace. And Saucy's a wonderful player, mostly playing off of shields. Medium shields, which is a rarity. He uses perfect blocks a lot. He has his thrusting sword, and he is deathly dangerous, as I'm just waiting to get on. I'm going to be rocking Codits through this tournament. It's on my standard faith build, so Minrex. Get your endurance up to wherever you need it to be. Basically on standard armor, except for the good old Lionel's hat. The EU hat always stays on. And here we are, tally swap in the corner. I'm trying to bait him out into something. I managed to get a nice punish there on that. Force him into the back corner. And I'm not used to fighting PSTS. And I think I can mash. Which, to be fair, I could in that situation. But he is on Red Feather and now proceeds to melt my health bar because I chose to not respect the setup. I'm forced back. He's basically dead here. I'm still pretty confident. I do have means and ways of actually getting some damage off against him, such as Chip. He switches back over to the PSTS. I try and force that roll there. It is going to be NA to EU West, and I get clipped. Don't manage to get that punish. I'm forced back now, and I get roll caught in the corner. I'm basically on 1 health. I swap over to Red Feather to make sure I can get that hit, and he manages to anti-air with Flame of the Red Mains. That is one of those situations where I didn't realize it could track that well. I'm pretty annoyed. The old EU mental is starting to take effect. That's not ideal. We're going to wait now for the bolt to come out here on the second one. The bolt, it's all very professional, seeing as the main bracket is does use... Oh, you can't use any of your respawn items or anything like that. Or at least I choose not to while in bracket. I think it's just safer to be on the side of not doing that. We do see the dagger come out here. He goes for Sacred Blade, which is, of course, a smart idea. Back onto that sword and the stock turtle, which is, of course, a great idea. I managed to go in way too close there to try and go for that punish. Again, I'm kind of expecting a certain thing. That empty jump there to try and bait out something. Managed to just about clip him, force him back there once again. We do see the tally swaps not using a tally swap there that I was expecting that would be that fast. Very rare in the actual swap a moment. I force back now. I'm not playing that same game again. I am not going to be tanking all of that damage, and I kind of know this priority. I managed to get a backswing there. He goes to force it. He does manage to get the interrupt there. I'm trying to get the swaddling cloth to do its thing. I do a baby jump there. I think I just ran out of stam, which is just completely on me. Trying to force him back here. I go for an empty jump again, trying to see what he'd do. He goes for a flaming strike. Is he going to go? I now know he has it, and now I'm trying to pressure him, go for a run R1. I think I force a trade there. Try and force another one. I am at risk, and I don't realize it here, of being tier skipped. A flaming strike comes out here. Again, I managed to go for that punish. He is on 1 hit. I am pretty confident, and I go for the backswing there as he runs back in, and he gets the parry. Misery Cord, tier skipped. Every time a tier skip happens, a kitten dies. That's just how it be. So just to explain the tier skip thing just a little bit while I try and hold back the tears and Incandescent Rage and spare drywall. Tier skip is when the particular flask that gives you health at low HP. That's going to be the thing that that you can skip if you do enough damage, so it doesn't actually proc it. You do too much damage, it goes through. But now we're going to be fighting Ruth, who I met in the last tournament rocking Twin Blade, and I'm kind of expecting Twin Blade, so I've kind of been working a little bit, you've seen it on the channel, trying to work on Thrusting Sword a little bit more. I'm not very confident, but I know it's better than rocking PSSS into Twin Blades. I don't really have options to hit her with PSSS, and I have a lot more options here. I bait out that she thinks I'm going to go for a running attack, and I managed to get a little bit of chip in here. Force her back there once again. I try and force a bit of pressure. She goes for that. Thinks she's going to get a wonderful little thing called a chip damage, which is of course huge in this matchup. If she manages to get decent chip here, she can basically constantly stagger me with the R2s. I'm stuck in menus. I don't actually manage to get that swap. I'm going to be on very little HP. I force back now once again. I have managed to proc her tier, which is very nice. She does go for that. I swap over to the Swaddling Cloth because I didn't get a chance before. So I'm not confident that it's actually going to land. And then the second Ice Blast. I thought I was safe. I unfortunately was not. And Ruth takes that first round. So GG's to Ruth. I don't think I've ever beaten Ruth in bracket. Phenomenal player. British gamer. She's been very good. Dark Souls 3 veteran as well. And I don't think I've beaten her in bracket in Dark Souls 3 either. Very, very good player. I managed to go in for that little trade there, which is risky business, but we go for it anyway. I don't think I have the sword and shield tally up. I do go for a little bit of spacing. Managed to get that strafe. I am going to be hit with Flaming Strike here. Taste of my own medicine. Managed to get her quite low. Force keeping going there. I'm getting aggressive here, and she's probably going to be looking to continue to do that high burst damage here, which you can do. I think I've strafed it. I managed to eat that, and then I get killed on a Flaming Strike interaction. That is what they call the business of skill issue. That matchup is more than winnable. TS is obscene, and I'm going to continue calling it obscene forever. And now we're on to our next match, and it is going to be myself on the Codeds versus this little gamer. You see, I cannot pronounce that goddamn name. Who's going to be on what seems to be Gugs, and I'm against Codeds here. That's not going to be good for them at all. Force them back here. They are taking insane damage. Try to go for a double piercing Fang. Do manage to actually get a hit off on me here. I'm going to do these empty jumps to try and force some kind of a roll. Try and go for that backswing. It's not piercing Fang. It's impaling thrust. Okay, that's interesting. Force back now once again. And they have the aromatics. The Spark Aromatic. That's adorable. I haven't seen that in fucking forever. Go for a running attack here. Force back now once again. I don't want to press all that often into this, because the simple reason is that they have enough hyper armor that they're basically able to just, like, say no. I'm guessing here that they're low on stamina, and I keep up that pressure, manage to get the interrupt, run out then, and get another one. I'm not sure. I can't remember if this person was EU or NA. You see, I can't. Bleh. GG's though. And we're going to physic up. And this could be our last round. On to fists, which is a much better option here. The only reason that Uggs and greatswords and all that stuff aren't great is they don't have any real means of like forcing damage. Gugs has a better job of doing it just by virtue of the fact that it can animation blend and make people pretty spooked, but they can just run away or strafe. Yeah, obviously it's skill based. There's some very, very talented hyper armor users, but in the same vein, I don't think it does particularly well. I'm going to keep up that pressure. I'm going to eat an awful lot of damage from these fists. I don't want to drop around here because I don't want to be in a position where I make bad mistakes in the next round and I'm punished too heavily for it. And there we go. And it'll follow up with the bow. Chi-Chi's Usi. There we go. That's how we're going to call their name from now on. Moving on, it is going to be the Sasso to the Moto, the Bodo King, German gamer. I think we fought him in the last tourney as well. He's going to be using Greatsword as well. I think he was just trying out some stuff that he hadn't had an opportunity to try out before. At least that's what I gathered from talking to him before. And there you go. If you were wondering in the tier list video why I put Greatswords where they were, that's why. They can't really do much. He can't hit me unless I blunder really, really hard. I'm going to go for these jumping attacks, force back down once again. He's going to go for these little turnaways here, trying to think. I get caught in menu, in the corner, with the greatsword. He's going to go press out there. He's on very low lats, so I can strafe it to my heart's content. Force back out there now once again. I'm just going to be chilling here. He goes for another jumping attack, and he gets nuked. That's just how that matchup be. He's going to stay on this, if I recall correctly. He doesn't swap over, which... Unfork bestie. I think it's the Ordorvus sword, if I'm recalling correctly, is the name of this particular greatsword. It does have one move that has caught me consistently. I believe long ago in the before times, a player by the name of Yuzu did manage to use that to very strong effect, and I think he got to... Did he get to third place with the Ordovus greatsword way back when? There are a couple of other very, very cool great sword mains from the long ago and the before times. KGL, of course, the guy who helped organize this tournament, is of course, one of the OG GS mains. Marco Vesso's been playing with it as well to some really great effect. But Sasso's doing a good job here, and that's why that setup is actually not terrible. You can force reaction rolls and stuff like that, and if they roll it wrong, they're going to take a little bit of damage. I'm going to jump in, jump around, and I leg it back out once again. Keeping this neutral here. I still have tier. He's one hit. I can intro. Well, I thought he was one hit. He's probably two hit here, and I can just pressure him there with the PSS, do nuclear tier damage, and it's GGWP. GG Sasso. Thanks for the fights, brother. JP, I believe, is the next person I'm going to be fighting here. And so it is. This is going to be a PSS Mirror, so we're both going to be playing off of reads and who overly extends first. And spoiler alert, it's going to be me who overextends a bunch. I jump out there trying to keep this very solid neutral. I managed to jump over that somehow. Funny hitboxes, and I'm going to go for that extra bit of damage with the Scorpion Charm here just to carry me through a little bit more. These jumps here are just means of getting away in case they decide to press. I could have gone for a rolling attack there, but I figured he was going to force me out. I managed to get a backswing as he's stuck in the corner there. Go for a jumping attack, managed to just about clip him. He's going to adapt very quickly over the course of these next few rounds, just by virtue of the fact that he doesn't want to play a long game. Or he wants to play a long game, sorry, so that fewer mistakes will count up. And all the way through here, look at that overextension there directly into his space is just such a terrible idea. Managed to interrupt him and his overaggression with the crouch R1 just to kind of say, no, stop it. I'm doing these jumps here. I'm just trying to condition that I'm sometimes going to go for the jump attack and other times not. He's doing the exact same thing here, but he got spooked and kind of moved off. And I do manage to take a considerable amount of damage. Nuclear tier codeds. I am going to try and force him back here. I have the swaddling clot, so it's going to count for a fair bit. I'm expecting him to come back in here as I swap over to my branch sword tally, just to get that extra little bit of absorption, because Lord knows I'm going to need it. I'm quite low here, but so is he, so we're about 2 mistakes each. We trade. He doesn't expect me to go for another one, probably stuck in menu, so I'm going to kind of keep that up. Well, out comes a stray R1 there, and I'm just going to be chilling. Good. I just about managed to space that one. Didn't manage to get a punish, though. And then forcing that pressure. That's going to be a massive frame drop from me, unfork. I could have mashed again, but I'm out of stam, and now I'm paying for my stam hungry usage here by going for these runs in neutral, which I really shouldn't. And then I follow up, and I have less than 100 HP. I was dead there if I messed up. We go for our physics. Dagger comes out from the beginning. Go for a jumping attack here. I think it's NA East, so both of us are really going to struggle to hit each other on these setups. Had I been thinking, I probably could have swapped to thrusting sword, but I was comfy in the mirror. I thought that it was probably a better idea. Force JP back here once again. He's going to be on the back foot consistently through here. Again, I am going to be rolling those jumping attacks. Sometimes I'm going to try and outspace them. But yeah, there we go. We managed to get a little bit there. I just checked that my tallies are right. I start spamming a neutral expecting him to walk in. I really shouldn't have. I take a huge amount of damage here as I'm stuck in the corner. I'm forced back now once again. Try and get an extra little bit of damage. But again, that just not able to get those punishes right. He is consistently rolling everything here, and that is the smarter play. It's not even like it's that much latency. It's just that it's safer. My tier is now gone. He has an insane health advantage. And now I have to be playing very carefully. The jumping attack failed me there. Michael Zaki and Orange Jesus here just were not with me on that one. Force back now once again. I tried to go for an interrupt myself, but he manages to get the quick draw on me. Force back now once again. I'm running on empty here because I want to keep him at bay constantly. I don't want him to realize that I'm running this low on stamina consistently. So I'm just about at the point where I can still get a roll out. Go for a second swing there. He realizes now he can trade with impunity because I'm that low. Do try and get that roll catch there. It's not going to quite function. I managed to jump out there. I think I stalled this one out for quite a while. And again, that Godskin swaddling cloth is huge. Go for a trade there. I'm forced back. Continuously forced back now once again. I still have a few more. I think I have an L1 or 2. Oh, we managed to just about claw it back. I'm forced back now once again. I'm going to take that damage. It's going to be his tier proc. I've just about managed to pull this one to be even closer than before. He's 2 L1s away. I'm 1. And I can continue to just get that Godskin Swaddling Cloth consistently up and up and up and try and get that to get what I need there. We see that little jerk out there. And then I jump, expecting it to work again, but he delays the hit. Should have just rolled. Close match. GG's WPs. And now, match point. Good job to JP. JP is actually one of those players who's improved considerably over the last while. So, congratulate. Like, that was really impressive stuff that he stayed in that fight for as long as he did. Realized had the knowledge to be able to just like, okay, I need to just roll everything, which is a mistake sometimes I make. I try and space things that I really have no business spacing, and I'm punished there for the mash and neutral, and I'm punished for the mash and neutral, and I don't know what I do here. I start making horrible mistakes. I'm starting to mess up my tally swaps and stuff like that. Not that the tally swaps would make much difference, but there we go. We do have our swaps are now down. Just about managed to get those 2 hits there. Force back now once again. We do see another trade come out. This is still a very close match. I believe he has somewhat of a life advantage here. Lightning didn't strike twice, and I didn't manage to get the backswing on that one. I roll out there on that one, force in this nice bit of pressure. I'm staying in center. I don't want to get cornered against these PSSS, but so does he. He's going to be chilling in neutral. I go for a whiff punish attempt. I'm going to be punished for that. No, I'm not. Do manage to force a trade though, but he does get the Godsend Swaddling Cloth buff off on that. And if you look at it in this fight, I think both of us are probably getting like 2 to 400 damage at least back from that Godskin. I'll have to look at that word again. I'm quite low here. So is he. We both still have our tiers. Now I don't, and he still does. Keep up that little bit of pressure. Keep up that little bit of pressure. Go for that jumping attack. He is quite low. He is within tier skip range, but I'm not chancing it. I try and go for a little bit of pressure there, but I eat a ton of damage there from that L1. And I'm going to be caught there. And I think I get greedy. And that is the end of the pools. And I unfortunately did not make it into the top 8 bracket. Unfork bestie. Special thank you to my opponents, of course, Saucy for the win. I'm not mad about that misery court swap. To Ruth, the twin blade, the windblader herself. There we go. Correct me in the comments. And Sasso and JP. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy this. Like, share, subscribe, do all that nonsense, and I'll see you all around. Bye bye.